call.
Andrew Benjamin here.
Thomas Rosser here.
Mr. Lamb is absent.
First order of business is approval of minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from the September meeting.
A second.
Call for the question.
Any questions?
So it's all ayes, all ayes.
Do you still have to call the question?
Yeah, you gotta call for the vote.
Call for vote.
Aye.
Aye. I wrote all these notes down on my list.
You'll get it.
Approved.
The last one was here for 20 years, so, you know.
And he still didn't know.
He finally got it out.
Second item, discussion, possible action regarding an update from the housing finance from David, from our executive director.
So I submitted this to you all. There has been one change since it was published. You've got the printed one on it. It just came out after I provided it for the update. Couple things I wanted to hit on is that in 2023 we did a whopping $652,215 in volume in Turnkey Plus. So far this year we're at $18,078,535. That represents 83 families in homes. And Tom, I know you can especially appreciate this, but on the program our delinquencies are at 0%. And our peer average is the 1.97 I gave you. And on our 24-month delinquency, we're still at 0. And the peer average is 4.41. And the FICO is a good thing and a bad thing because I think it sometimes leaves families behind. But 81.82% of our conventional loans have a FICO of 740 or higher. 75.39% of our government loans have a FICO of 700 or higher, which is pretty high for those programs. And it's probably hard for you all to read this in black and white. But if you look at the volume numbers, there was just a giant jump up from January to February, and it's continued up. October was our best month ever. We did 4,449,045, and that literally doubled what any other previous month. So the part-time gig is turning more and more into a little more of a full-time gig, but I'm enjoying it. You can see on there what I didn't have when I passed it out is our mortgage credit certificate program. We did 3 in all of 2022. We did 2 up to June 1st in 2023. We've done 19 since then. And the lenders that are listed at the bottom are either ones we've added or reactivated since we got back active in the program. And I would say, just like I said at the last meeting, I think it's a combination of a couple things. It's knocking on doors. Tom has been with me at a couple realtor functions at a table talking to folks, and it's knowing the lenders, but it's mostly the fact that this board 2 years ago made a conscious decision to, number one, cut lender compensation to 200 basis points. And some lenders didn't like that, some did. And number 2, offer the rate at the very lowest possible deal we can. And I mean, Tom can tell you, we did lose one yesterday to Arvest, and I don't yet know what kind of program that was. I will find out. But I still think we have the lowest rate in town. I mean, are you finding anything even close to it when you look around?
Opa's catching on. They're trying to compete, but they're not there yet.
So I don't know if you all like this format better. I thought it was kind of useless to tell you how many phone calls I made or how many meetings. That doesn't, it shows you're busy, but this reflects what you're doing with your actions on the board. So if this format's okay, I'll do something similar to this each time. What's most useful to you all?
I mean, this is helpful. These are useful metrics because it's completed loans.
I'll let you see the end result.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this. I'm just going to say great job.
Yeah, good job.
This adding these people. I talked to the guy from AMC. He was just super excited to be added and to be reactivated.
You know, that was the biggest meeting I've been to, by the way, with lenders. I bet there were 30 people there.
Micah and everybody showed up.
Yeah.
Well, what's funny is the one guy who was pushing for it just left AMC.
Really? He was there last week.
He was. Yeah. And today was his. Yeah, he moved.
Anyway, that's pretty much the end of the report. I will be out of the office December 2nd through the 5th. I will have internet in the evenings, but I won't have it in the Wichita Mountains chasing elk. So I've emailed all the lenders. You should have got an email yesterday or the day before telling you that I wasn't going to be there. And I'll make sure I check it in the evenings when I get back to the place I lease. They do have internet access. They've got Wi-Fi, so I'll catch up in the evenings if we have to do any findings. That is it on my report, Mr. Chairman.
I call for any questions or any of that, right? That's just a report. Thank you. Number 3, departmental items is resolution authorizing a 2025 single-family program, authorizing the issuance of Oklahoma County Home Finance Authority 2020. Yeah, I just reread the same line. Single-family mortgage credit certificate, the MCC, and the aggregate principal amount not to exceed 24. We have to redo that.
It expires,
Yeah.
it sunsets December 31st. We have a little over 7 million left, but it sunsets December 31st.
Okay. You need me to read this whole thing? Authorizing? Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I don't need to read the whole thing. So as most of you guys know, David runs most of the traditional lending side. This is a little bit different. The MCC program is a tandem first-time homebuyer kind of program. Kind of the uniqueness about it, the advantage to it is it's a tax credit program, which can help kind of those on the lowest end of our spectrum qualify. So lenders can use the amount of the credit they get in their monthly income to push them over kind of qualifying threshold. Our traditional, so you're allowed 2 full calendar years out of each cycle. So we always try to game it a little bit. So we'll publish a notice in the newspaper. The program can't be effective until after that notice period has occurred. There's a 30-day window. And so there will be a little bit of a gap in between kind of when the existing program expires and a new program starts. It's intentional because that means we can get almost 3 full calendar years kind of out of our allocation. So they don't count the partial year against you for IRS rules purposes. So out of this, we'll apply for $24 million of carry forward volume cap from the state, and then elect to convert those to MCCs, of which we'll have about $12 million, on the MCC program to originate from, which is the exact same program that we did back in 2021 and have run kind of through today. So there's 2 items. There's one, actually let's identify the program. The tandem item to it is us actually electing into the MCC program.
Any questions? We're doing more MCCs, just same as, right? It's picking
We
up.
are. The one lender that by far leads, and they always have in MCCs, is Citywide Mortgage, John L. Jones's team. They've done 11 of the 19.
Can you think of any reason why we wouldn't extend the MCC, do the MCC again?
No.
Hey, we offer it as a free service, essentially, and we're not in competition with anybody. In Oklahoma County, OFA has not offered an MCC program kind of in some time because there are some hairs that kind of go along with it. RJ does a great job of helping us manage, from that standpoint, and so it essentially, if we didn't do it, it wouldn't be a service that would be offered to anybody in the county.
And just to kind of give some background, when I first sat on that side of the table with the trust in the 90s, went to a seminar in Minneapolis, an ALPHA, National Association of Local Housing Finance Agency seminar. And I went to the MCC breakout session, and they listed by state all of the costs associated with the MCC. Most were $250, some were $500, one was $1,000. The one that was $1,000 was Oklahoma. So I came back to the trust and said, guys, it's embarrassing that we're twice anybody else. So there was a law firm in Norman that still does that from all the Oklahoma counties, and I get calls, and I'm nice, and I refer them to that law firm. But I said, we need to fire the Floyd law firm is who it is, and we need to start doing these ourselves. And we went from 1,000 to 0. So now we're at the low end of we're the lowest in the country, we were the highest in the country. We still don't do a whole lot of them, but that $2,000 savings makes a big difference. And as Jared said, you know, Tom's struggling with debt to income, and he puts an MCC on there. You can take that $168 a month, and it affects the DTI ratios, and
You can make a
it
difference
makes
of
a
approval
deal.
or not approval.
Yep.
Sure.
Alright, so we need a motion for the first one and then for the second one? Okay, I move to approve, resolution authorizing the 2025 single family program.
I second.
You can. When there's only two here, you don't have a choice.
Then I call for a vote.
Yep.
Calling for a vote.
Aye.
Aye. It's 2 ayes.
Then I will move to approve the resolution authorizing implementation of a mortgage credit certificate program.
Approve. And then calling to vote that one.
Yep.
Yeah, let's vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution passes.
Pass, vote pass.
Did we, in the September meeting, establish our meeting dates to coincide with the state? I don't recall. If we didn't, we need to do
I
that.
thought we did.
I believe we did.
I think we did.
Let me go back to the minutes.
But that way, Mark only has to make one trip.
Jared has his meeting on the same day
And Jared only has to have one day to decide.
for house
So,
meeting.
as long as you guys are okay, I mean, we just need to tie those together. Theirs is in the morning and ours is in the afternoon, like happened today.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm okay with that.
4 for you, right?
I think, Mr. Chairman, if there's any citizen participation, that's it.
Any citizen participation?
Kind of a citizen back there.
Is there just one for board comments, Keisha?
Yeah, board comments
Yeah.
too.
I'll just say, I just want to kind of give you guys an update on the ARPA stuff. So we've now closed 4 of the 5 grants under ARPA. Ally's in, the biggest one closed last week or 2 weeks ago. And so they were a big LIHTC project as well. So we were waiting on kind of their federal equity, state equity, then they're issuing multifamily revenue bonds through OHFA. They've got a $2 million loan from the city. They've got a home art loan for $1 million, and then they have $1 million from us, kind of all as their contributing factors. And so they finally closed on that project. Earth is turning. They're moving pretty quickly on it. We've fully completed 2 of the 5 projects. 2 obviously in process. The one that has not made much movement is the Progress OKC project. And so I might bring you guys an item in January that we either reopen an application for that, or we reallocate, kind of something accordingly, unless we see some movement, on that front.
I was
So
gonna ask.
they've had a really hard time identifying. They really wanted to identify a duplex and remodel a duplex, and there's just limited stock of those, and so their purpose would have to change slightly, which would require us to take action anyway. But they're trying to identify other ways that they can use the funds as well. So we don't want to put I'd say maybe in our next meeting we authorize that, hey, we need to see some movement in 90 days, if not by the end of the next fiscal year, then we're going to have to look at reallocating those dollars.
And Jared is, in fact, this week he reached out to them to get an update, and I think once or twice they found a property they thought would work, and zoning just didn't fit for what they wanted to do.
Any other board comments?
As long as we're talking about ARPA, the audit went okay. They asked us for some additional stuff. We provided it. And that was on the 1.5 million that we did a couple years ago, not the most recent one, but as far as I know, we're in good shape on everything.
Everything is moving right along. It's hard to get that amount of money out in the windows that we were required to get it out in. I think we're definitely learning some best practices, kind of nationwide, but those funds did what they were intended to do. I don't know if you saw the article kind of in the newspaper yesterday. Is essentially we're out of all of the statewide agencies are running out of the ERA funds. Edmond still has about $200,000 left, kind of in their allocable expenditures, but they're running through that at about $40,000 to $50,000 a month. So they'll probably be out, early part of next year, and then our entire ERA program will be complete.
And Edmund was the last one we did.
That's right.
Any other comments? We are adjourned. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
You made that one of these days.
By the way, you ought to be congratulated. Not many non-bond TVA style programs like you're doing.